Esports has been a buzzword in video games for a while now. Stories of young, talented players winning millions of dollars just by playing video games. But even though Australia has produced some top-tier talent, there's not much of a culture of watching esports or of global tournaments being held in the country. Now there's an unlikely hero trying to create opportunities in esports, the Football Federation of Australia. They've been building an esports league, known as the ELeague, to try and bring world-class tournaments to Australia.
Oh, this will be a wonderful goal! What a goal!
And this might make space, and straight on in! And
firing it in, Barissa! What a ball from Diamanti!
With at least 7 million football fans in Australia and millions of them also being gamers, the FFA is using the ELeague to connect traditional sports with its gaming counterpart. In this case, EA Sports' FIFA. So why did the FFA decide to start the ELeague?
Well, it started with a few of the players that we actually even had in the A-League playing a lot of E-League in their vacant time. And then we said, well, actually, why don't we bring those guys on? And then it came to, actually, why don't we do it properly? Why don't we go and represent every team? Everyone has their own player, play against each other in their jerseys. We thought that'd be a great idea. When you think about the traditional game, where you get the athletes who then can go on to play in the Olympics or can get to play in the World Cup, what happens now in the E-League is the same opportunities, right? So there's the points that build to World Cup status and all those sorts of things. So great opportunities for all the players that are here.
The ELeague competition consists of the 9 A-League clubs, each with 2 players. 1 Xbox player and 1 PlayStation player. They play 11 rounds split over 2 weekends to determine the seeding, or who versus who in the grand final, which is held later in the year. The winner of the PlayStation and Xbox divisions then play off to be the ELeague champion. One player that knows all about that is defending champion Sydney FC's Mark Brzezinski. So you also played in the FIFA E-World Cup last year. How does ELeague compare to that?
Obviously, we've got so many good players coming up through the ranks here in Australia, and it's crazy to see just how far our scene's come, especially EA have taken notice and given us 450 points for the winner. So if that doesn't say anything, I don't know what does. We'd only have 1 spot in qualifiers online, which I still believe is crazy. The amount of players here that are just really good, it's certainly getting more and more every year, so yeah.
Another player that has found a path to success through the ELeague is Melbourne City's Marcus Goons, who faced off with Mark in last year's grand final. Marcus exploded onto the FIFA scene in the first season of the ELeague. This year, he's joined by his young brother Dylan, who's hoping to follow in his footsteps. So Marcus and Dylan, you are both playing today, and you're brothers, but you're playing in different divisions. How is the rivalry there?
It's pretty intense. We actually played the first round. We're in different consoles though, so luckily we don't play against each other, but it's pretty intense and we ended up winning. So yeah, older brother has the bragging rights at the moment.
And your parents must be proud too.
Yeah, they are. Mum especially. She's always wants to watch us and see what's going on. Yeah, she's very, very supportive. Initially, she was a bit worried that Dylan would be following the same path as me because being a pro gamer, there's a lot of risk involved. But now I've convinced her enough to let him come here and see the experience, and yeah, now she's got full support.
How do you find that the scene in Australia is changing?
It's definitely developing a lot. You know, FIFA 17, you had the guys who would break through. Marcus was one of them. You had the trademark name, so a lot of them are here. Now you see players every year that you've never really heard of coming up who are very good, just challenging the top players. So it's definitely getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Would you have any advice for younger kids who are interested in maybe getting into something like this?
I think definitely just try and have fun with it initially, and as you get better and better, then you start getting into that competitive side of it. If you go in with a competitive mindset from the get-go, when things aren't going your way, you're not going to have fun with it at all.
inside the deflection! Oh, both
man. This game is so good.
I'll let Dylan commentate that one for you at home.
Adding on top of that, you want to keep a good work balance, complete your schooling, really just be realistic about the future.
How do you find that having the FFA put on a competition like this is changing esports?
Well, I think it's instrumental because we wouldn't have a competition without the A-League clubs backing us. You know, they have 2 players per club. got good support, good venue, everything.
It was all slow getting into it, and then they've finally backed it and seen the progression and the type of audience that it's attracting and the numbers and that. So it's doing wonders, and you can see the awesome production that goes on at these events, and it's only getting bigger every year.
So what's your end goal for the ELeague? What's your big dream where you'd like to see it go?
We'd actually like to build it in such a way that it got a lot of fans that we could actually play it in the stadiums before the outdoor football or small games at half-time. So that actually the fans of both can start to cross over. So our thinking is, how do we bring the esports people to the big stadiums to watch football and their esports? We think that's going to happen, and we want to be part of it.